The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
We have Mike from Chicago on the line, and he has a question about digestion.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
First of all, I just wanted to say that I love the show. I think it's great programming, and I'm very much of a like mind when it comes to, taking control of your own health and certainly doing your own research.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico Haan and Paige Clarke.
Happy Friday and welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to take control of our personal choices, health, and our freedoms. I'm Nico Haan. This
Hallelujah.
Is Paige Clarke. Hallelujah, for sure. Boy, it's a beautiful day in downtown Clearwater. It's about 82 degrees and a little cloudy, but the sun is still out. And we'd like to remind you to please subscribe to our newsletter. I have a brand new Health Signals newsletter.
Yep. We can just highlight a few things.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I want you to order some Primal Edge, please. We're getting great reviews from everybody who's tried it, so please check that out for us. And you can do this all on the TFNN website at tfnn.com.
And I want to remind everybody, that you can use your Tiger Dollars. Tom O'Brien has really put some great steps in place so that you can stay healthy while you're trading. Yeah. And, other people don't have that power. We've got people coming to the site that aren't even in the Tiger's Den or part of the Tiger Group. So take advantage of that, guys.
No doubt about it. And we are taking your phone calls at 877-927-6648. So you had sent me an article earlier, and let me see, I've got it here, 27 health and nutrition tips that are actually evidence-based. So this is something that's backed by research and pretty much standard knowledge amongst everybody in the scientific community. So it's kind of nice, we always talk about these different kind of diets that people are on, and fat is good, fat is not good, blah, blah, blah. But there's actually evidence for all these 27, and I thought, let's go over these and give our own take on this.
Yeah, and I think that's a great way to go. And, as you know, people, Nico and I both are big fans of evidence-based research and natural health.
Yes.
It doesn't get the funding that other research gets, but we are very supportive of organizations like SARG's website, GreenMed Info, where you can get the world's largest database of evidence-based research, and that is what he and I, we spend hours. That's why our newsletter is so valuable. Hours looking at research, putting things together, exploring them, vetting it out, and we're there to help you.
A lot of the research, of course, comes from companies that are making products and they have to do their own research, but that's not the only research we want. In fact, I try to shy away from, them researching their own product, especially afterwards. I want to get an independent, which our universities used to do, but now we really have to look at what our universities are doing and who's donating to them. So you can have a serious conflict there. If a large company is donating to your university and you depend on that money, now you're not going to put research out that
would shed that company in a bad light.
Exactly. So,
yes, exactly.
So let's go. Number one is don't drink sugar calories, and this is kind of a no-brainer, I would say. I don't think there's anybody that would dispute that. In fact, in the old days, my dad had a great saying. He says, there's only one liquid here on planet Earth. The rest of it we make.
That's right.
So
and that's a really
that's
good
how
point.
important is water is. It's the one liquid that's here for us to drink. Everything else we have to kind of manipulate to get the liquid out of it. Breast milk is the other good one too.
Well, and this is a key point, guys. Just to give a real quick example of how an industry skews the information. Everyone has this supposition that heart disease is a fat issue, and quite frankly, the research points completely the opposite. That it's actually a bad fat issue. The trans fats, but sugary drinks are strongly associated with the epidemics that we're facing. Obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and all sorts of problems, including cancer.
Okay, the second one is eat nuts. And my spin on this, they're good and they're high in certain kind of fats. Problem with nuts too, they have a lot of phytic acid in it, so that's one of the negative things. So I think nuts being on there, I wouldn't put it number 2. I might put it number 18 or 20 or something, because nuts are important, but they're seasonal. Okay,
Right.
so if you're eating seasonal, you're eating them at a certain time of the year, and if you're gorging on them, you probably get really sick on them. So our ancestors knew this, and so they soaked them a lot. They let them sprout and soured them and things like that, and that's how they consumed them.
Isn't that funny how everybody, when we talk about sprouting or soaking or whatever to make these foods edible and good for us, that people think we're doing all these crazy things, but in fact our ancestors knew this.
They
It's
all
just
did
been
that,
wisdom
yeah.
that's
It's
been
only in our real modern geoengineering world that we stopped doing that, because all these boxes and everything that they're putting this food in, they're not doing any of those things that we know take the toxins out of the food.
And our new research in terms of the biofield health, as many of you have heard me refer, is coming back to putting the brakes on fats. Even though, Nico and I love fat as an energy source, we want to try and minimize the fat we're getting in terms of processed oils. And yes, that even means the beloved olive oil and maybe even the beloved coconut oil.
Yeah.
To a point, let's look at what foods do these healthy fats come packaged naturally? A nut, an avocado, the olive itself.
Exactly.
So
number 3 is avoid processed junk food, or any processed food. I would expand that whole thing, and it says eat real food, and I think that's definitely number 3. It's a good one to put in there. Maybe slide it up to number 2. Any processed food, fast food, of course, anything that comes in a box or a can, unless you've canned it yourself for specific reasons, I would say is a no-no.
Number 4 is don't fear coffee.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of evidence-based research that coffee is one of the best antioxidant sources for the American public, which is kind of a dual sword. It's sort of sad. In other words, that the average American is getting their antioxidants from their coffee, and that means they must not obviously be eating enough vegetables,
the thing
or healthy meats that are animals that eat vegetables.
Another thing, don't fear coffee, but fear coffee that is moldy. Fear coffee that isn't microtoxic, and fear coffee that isn't organic.
Pesticide-ridden.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good companies, the free trade companies. I would recommend getting organic coffee from that, and use all different brands. I mean, this is a fruit.
We've got an option to be providing a really good coffee, and I think we need to explore that for these guys. And I think we can package it with some of the stuff we're doing. I think it's just time for that.
Yeah, we're certainly exploring those things.
And you know what? This is a really important thing. As we say all this stuff, what we want to do is consider your own individual bio-individuality. Don't fear coffee, but if you're a strung-out, stressed-out person, we know that coffee, with the good benefits, has a drawback that it can become adrenal stressing.
Yeah, especially if you're drinking a dozen cups a day.
And you're loading it with processed sugar to get that, and you're using a toxic coffee, and you're not properly rehydrating. So again, all of these, there's always both sides, a balancing act.
Okay, number 5 is eat fatty fish, certainly, and I would add to that it should be wild fish. Yeah. It's you don't want to go to farmed fish.
Right.
More and more problems these days are coming about in the research with the fish that is farmed. Well, even farmed in streams that are moving. Because the close proximity that they put them in, they're putting in these nets, and they can't really swim that far.
So they're swimming in each other's way.
They're swimming in each other's way, and of course then you get parasites and all that. So that's why the farming is a problem, even if they're eating the food that's in the river.
Yeah, I had someone ask me, well, what's the big deal about farmed fish? So let me explain again. I know many of you may be aware. We talk about not eating, soy is not a toy for the girl or the boy. We don't eat genetically modified soy and corn. We don't want to eat cows that are eating these processed GMO grains. We don't want to eat the fish, and that's what they're feeding the farmed fish. They're feeding them grains, and fish are in the water. They're not on the shore eating grains, so it just doesn't really go. Yeah. So try and always go to a restaurant and say, what do you have that's wild caught? And go for that night.
That's the best thing there is. And there are a lot of great restaurants coming out these days that are actually getting game in there.
Yes.
Which is really cool, and I'm hoping, I think there's one in Tampa, but I'm hoping, not to have to cross the bridge so much and go somewhere. So number 6.
I like this one.
Okay.
Get enough sleep.
Get enough sleep. That's so important, folks. 7 or 8 hours is what I need on a nightly. Last night I was watching the Stanley Cup playing, so I was up till 10:30, which usually is about an hour and a half more. So you usually go at 9. I can definitely feel the difference.
You go to bed at 9?
I go at 9, yeah.
I think that's
because I wake up at 5.
Well, see, I think that's super. We also know that from our chronobiology that most of us over 40 actually secrete more growth hormone between the hours of 10 and 2. So you're kind of ripping yourself off if you don't go to bed at midnight. I'm going to confess, I'm a little bit of a night owl. Maybe it's just because my day's full.
I was always too, you know, and as I got older and older, it started switching. And it was about 20 years ago that I was really always waking up before 6 o'clock. And, you know, it's a natural thing for me now.
Well, I tell you another thing about that is if you can, it's like 28 days to make a habit. If you are staying up late and you want to get on that early thing, just give yourself the time to do it. And remember that whatever it is you're doing at midnight, like me, reading like I always am, I can certainly do it at 5 o'clock. Go to bed early and wake up.
Yeah.
Okay,
So number 7 is take care of your gut health with probiotics and fiber.
This is really huge, guys. You know, with the new science of the microbiome and being implicated in not just brain but neurological disorders, we have to remember that we have 10 times more bacteria, good and bad, in our body than we have human cells. Think about that for a minute. We're really a host.
Yeah, that's true. And the thing about fiber, there's a lot of questions about fiber, whether it's good for you or not. I would say that fiber from organic fruit and vegetables is good for you. I would say the fiber from grains, probably not so much because there's so many toxins in grains. But I don't think there's a lot of value in that because I think the fruits and vegetables give you kind of a prebiotic in the fiber.
I totally agree with you on that.
Okay.
Yeah,
and I don't think the grain has that ability there. I think the grain kind of is dead.
Right, and as we know, the gluten, kind of the ideology of the world, is sticky glue. You know,
So
how do you make
move.
paper mache when you're in elementary school?
There you
Flour
go.
and water.
Yeah.
So what do you got when you're eating some gluten?
In fact, I remember you take the bread and you can squish it out.
Yeah, it's hard as a rock.
Hard as a rock.
That's kind of what's happening when you're doing that. Yeah, and then, you know, we want to drink some water, especially, now this is interesting, he said especially before meals.
I would question that because what I'm thinking is if it's right before a meal.
He's actually saying an hour before meals. He meant not concurrent with your meals.
Yeah,
and
because that'll dilute your hydrochloric
digestive
acids.
enzymes and your but I do want to share with you that one of the things that we're doing at Premier Research, those of us that are QRA practitioners, is we've got a new product, well, not super new, but we're really starting to pay a lot of attention to it, which is a clay that it donates calcium as it binds toxins, and we actually recommend opening up one of those capsules in about a 4 to 6 ounce, 8 ounce glass of water, drinking it with your meal, and the clay binds with the food, making sure you remove the persistent organic pollutants.
You know, we used to get the natural clays and dirt and everything like that into our system, and we
animals do it naturally.
Sure, and just by breathing and the dust and everything like that. So imagine, folks, the difference between a nice, healthy, wild environment and now you're in the streets of a city and you're getting that product in, you know, just in the air, from the streets, the bus, everything like that. So there's a huge difference between what used to go on in our primitive lives as to now, and what we want to get back to is that pristine, beautiful earth that we used to have.
So we're going to go over this list of some good do's and don'ts and see what you think. Make sure you give us a call. We've got some time to go over some of your questions, so we'll be back. We're going to take a short break.
See if you agree with these things and how you might change them. We'll be right back, folks. The number is 877-927-6648. Get some Primal Edge, the newsletter, and we'll be right back. You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments, and whether you're bullish or bearish on Chinese stocks, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Nico and Paige take your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Nico and Paige here. We're talking about 27 proven ideas or concepts that will help you stay healthy, wealthy, and wise. Keep on trading. And number 9, we're on number 9 now, and it's don't overcook or burn your meat. And boy, that's really something that you really need to pay attention to. You know, the heat in the when you apply heat to the meat, it
creates acrylamides. Which have been proven to be carcinogenic.
Well, that's one take on it. But what I'm talking about is the moisture gets removed. So your really good fats that are in there, the saturated fat that's inside mixed with the protein, starts to really evaporate and takes the moisture out of it. And that's what really makes the meat taste really good, and it makes it, you know, kind of melt in your mouth. So not overcooking it. I always get it close to raw, maybe medium rare, but I don't cook it much over that at all. Even a hamburger, I won't.
Yeah, we were actually talking in the chat room a little bit, you know, about some raw fish, and a comment was made in the studio, you know, oh no, you know, parasites in raw fish and meat. Not true if you're getting good sources. And remember,
the parasites really come in after the fish is cut. So most of a good sushi place will cut it right in front of you, and that makes a huge difference. You know, if you take care of the meat, then you're not going to have the parasites.
And if you have good digestive fire and you're, you know, have good stomach acid, that's there to protect you. And really, quite frankly, one of the big issues we have is undigested protein, and we kill all the enzymes that are naturally inherent in the meat by cooking it completely. And I like what Nico said, have that burger if you want to brown it a little bit, but leave a little bit of rare so you have some little enzymes that will help naturally. The enzymes that are in the food are there to help you break down that food.
Yes, it does. That's right.
Hey, avoid the bright lights before you sleep, folks. You know.
That's so important. And during the break, you mentioned there's an app on computers. It's called eFlux, E-F-L-U-X. And I've got that on my Mac at home. And when it starts to get dark and the light changes, it'll take out the type of light that will keep you awake.
Yeah, the blue spectrum, folks, is the light that interferes with our natural melatonin. Melatonin is the natural antioxidant secreted by the pineal gland upon sleep. We believe it's also very protective. The one antioxidant we found out at Premier Research that crosses the barrier and into all cells. Men need less than women, and there's been some great research in terms of anti-aging by supplemental melatonin. I actually take it because of its anti-aging benefits, as proven by Walter Peripoli, an Italian researcher for women and anti-aging. Wish I'd known about it when I was 35, because that's what he did with a lot of women. And so we shall see. But I don't even have a problem sleeping. I sleep like a rock. I have great sleep, but I'm doing it anyways for the anti-aging benefits.
Yeah, I have a little ritual that helps me get to sleep. I have a little heating pad that I lay on. Helps me with aches and pains at night.
I need to get you an earth wrap.
Yeah.
So it's infrared pad.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't have any EMFs coming at you.
Mine is a far infrared.
Okay, it is. Okay, good.
Yep.
That's like the earth wrap.
Yeah, I bought it years ago, and I love it. Another thing, too, that eFlux is not available on iPads and mobile devices yet, but they've been working on it, too. Number 12 is eat fruits and vegetables, and I agree. You know, fruits and vegetables are very important. Another thing I would say with the fruits and vegetables is if you're eating them seasonally, you're really going to be much better off. You'll get the nutrition that you need and the detox value of that product because nature, because of its growing season, will provide you what you need at that time. So that's a real important part of it.
Yep.
And
so go get yourself some peaches this weekend. I saw them at the
seasonal fruits are really cool. What disturbs me is these massive places in the Big Valley in California that are growing almonds and peaches and all these other things, and that's all they're growing, or they're big fields of it. And you got to remember places like California, specifically the Big Valley, which is a huge valley, is a desert. And we made it what they're doing now, and they're all worried about the drought. Well, it's a desert. There's going to be large periods of time when there's no water there. That's why it's a desert. So stop complaining. If everybody was growing seasonal fruit nearby, we wouldn't have this problem out west. And that goes for the fields out in the Midwest too, for the corn and all these other things. If we start doing much more diversified type of gardening instead of the massive agriculture, I think our food would improve, our whole social structure, certainly much better for the environment, much better for trying to promote wild environments, which we need so desperately, because everything that human beings seem to be doing in society today is destroying a wild habitat, which is what made us what we are.
And we're wild, and we want you to be wild.
Yeah, we are wild and crazy.
And we're getting back to the wild. I call it the wild woman way.
I like it.
That's what I'm working on.
Folks, please pick up some Health Signals newsletters, and also pick up a subscription to the newsletters. Pick up some Primal Edge, please, our daily supplement. It's flying out of the shelves here, and we certainly want you to experience it. Give us a call at 877-927-6648.
You've heard Nico Haan as co-host of Living a Primal Lifestyle, which airs every Friday at noon Eastern Time on TFNN, and would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back to TFNN, Living a Primal Lifestyle. I'm Paige Clarke, and I'm with Nico Haan, my co-host. We've been going over some great tips, health and nutrition tips that are evidence-based. And you know, number 11, taking vitamin D3 if you don't get much sun. I'm going to suggest people that what the research is showing is that over close to half of the population is vitamin D deficient. We could realize that that may very well be due to atmospheric things, like some of the things that are being sprayed that are keeping this down. Why is it that we're not absorbing it? And we found through research of the biofield, which is kind of what I focus on, that most people over 35 or 40 do not have sufficient liver gallbladder strength. The liver and gallbladder are kind of clogged to properly use their fat-soluble vitamins. Mm-hmm. So we see a lot of people that go to their doctors and their doctor admits, yes, they're low in vitamin D. They put them on a vitamin D supplement and the number barely changes because they're unable. So work with me on that. I'm going to bring in maybe next week or something. I'm going to show you our newest solution that's working fantastic inexpensive way to do it, and I love it because I get to combine using a vitamin D supplement. My first choice is get in the sun. And don't wash your skin, because a lot of the cholesterol, sulfate, and the activation of vitamin D happens at the skin level. But secondly, do the insurance plan, get tested, watch your vitamin D number, and I suggest taking vitamin D, the fat-soluble nutrient, with your high-fat meal midday in a little bit of water. Take your vitamin D, and we add essential oil of orange. And I kind of sell this as a little kit. You add it to the water and the vitamin D, you disperse it so you see the vitamin D, oil and water don't mix, disperse from a big blob on top into tiny little microclusters. And we're seeing great results in getting those vitamin D numbers elevated.
And it makes sense that
it tastes good.
In our society today that we don't get enough sun, because most of the time we're indoors. And even if it was cloudy out, there was a lot of indirect sunlight going all around through the trees and everything like that. So the problem is not so much that we're deficient, it's just because we don't go outside. That's the reason we're deficient. We live in homes and we live in buildings.
That is so correct. We don't spend the amount of time out there.
So number 12 was eat fruit and vegetables. We had that already.
Yeah, but so let's make sure you eat enough protein. And this is really an interesting one. I like to talk about this with Nico because, you know, I have some practitioners that I work with that they see a lot of low protein number on people's blood tests, and so they're constantly encouraging them, you need to eat more protein, you don't have enough protein in your body. But my question is, remember, if you can't disinfect, digest, and properly discard, that's why I have my triple D digestion thing.
And I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of people that have aches and pains because they got leaky gut, because the protein that is getting undigested by your food is escaping in the body. And my thing is eat the right amount of protein, and better yet, digest your protein.
Yeah, and a lot of people have leaky gut, and that's a real bad condition, because the food is actually going in and absorbed through the walls of the stomach and not getting processed in the normal processing plant that we have there. And that is seen as a toxin. Now your body's fighting those toxins off. If it's going through the normal digestive process, they're not toxins. It's what fuels you. But
having a little bit of moderate protein, I don't want to say a little bit.
Size of the palm of your hand is enough protein for anybody at a meal, and that 2 or 3 times a day is plenty of protein. Where we're really losing it is not including the fat in there, because that's where we get all these nutritions, help you digest stuff, and we are eating enough protein, we're just not digesting it, and that's what we take from this.
And that's why you and I are such big fans of HCl.
Yes.
And keeping the stomach acid sufficient. Do some cardio or just walk more. And
very important, folks. Taking that after dinner stroll, perhaps, or just fitting it somewhere in where you're going to take a walk does you so much good.
I was just thinking, when you go to Europe, well, first of all, the first thing you notice when you're in European countries is typically you don't see the obesity that you see just in looking at a crowd. But they walk to the town square to go get their daily ice cream after dinner. But they're walking to the town square and they're walking back and they're conversing. And, just getting that movement. But, we also want to talk, do some cardio. Perhaps for many of us, static cardio at a high intensity, produces a lot of stress. Maybe the high-intensity interval training produces a better result for those of us that might be over 40. We're getting those growth hormone releases.
But maybe not. Some of us are doing it into their 70s.
Yeah,
So
yeah, exactly. The point is do what's right for you, right?
Number 15 is don't smoke or do drugs, and only drink in moderation. That's a no-brainer there, too. I think there are some drugs that you could probably, people classify as drugs. We're having a lot of things that are these days, information about marijuana. Every day I see something new that's being tested for arthritis, for gallbladder, for Parkinson's disease, that they're using edibles and different kinds of forms of marijuana that are really helping people. And I think it's really important to explore all the types of plants that we have, because that's where most of our drugs come from. They're just not patented. You can't patent a marijuana plant, apparently. But, there's so many different strains that are coming out that don't just get you high. They have taken the THC out and using the CBDs and all these things. And it's, I think they're finding out that this is kind of a miracle thing.
Hey, listen to this one. This one I want to expound on a little bit. Use extra virgin olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil is the healthiest fat on the planet. So, And then below are research articles that support the heart-healthy monosaturated fats, and there is indeed a lot of good research. But what's coming about right now and is getting my attention a little bit about is it really that olive oil is the healthiest fat, or is it in fact the food, the olive, which is a high-fat food, is in fact the healthiest food? The longest-lived people and our traditional ancestors didn't know how to have the benefit of buying a bottle of olive oil, but they could eat olives. So again, what we're seeing in the biofield research arena is that liver gallbladder stagnation, which is affecting other things, may be decreasing some of this health benefit we're seeing by having it in excess. So I'm putting a lot of my new coaching clients on a 90-day processed packaged oil of all kinds, holiday, and we're seeing tremendous improvement.
Yeah, and a lot of people cook with olive oil too, and I would recommend using it very low heat, but best using it cold. You know, heat changes fats, and the best thing to, if you're going to cook with, it would be saturated fats. That would be recommended.
And you'd be amazed at how much cooking you can do with poaching, guys, with just a little water and steam. And then afterwards, after you remove your food from the heat, you could then safely drizzle it with a little olive oil. But I do want you to start to be conscious. New research coming out that perhaps it's refined oils of all kinds, even of healthy types. You know, should we be eating the coconut manna, the coconut meat and fat, or the coconut milk in its whole form versus the processed oil?
It always makes sense that you would consume it in its natural form, which would be better for you. Of course, the problem is in our modern society, the foods have changed so much that we need supplements just because the whole foods aren't there, or we don't eat them that way, or the soil has eroded so much that the vitamins and minerals that we are supposed to be getting from our natural sources are in there. That's why we came up with Primal Edge, because now there's a nice supplement you can take. So there's definitely room to supplement things, and I think in our modern day living, it's almost mandatory that we have to do that.
Right. Well, nothing really happens, folks, without the essential nutrients, which are minerals and cofactors. You know, our bodies can make a lot of our vitamins, but we can't make the minerals. And the minerals are no longer available in the soil, so it's kind of a no-brainer by deducing that if they're not there...
And if they're essential, they're either a fat or they're a protein.
Or they're a mineral. You're talking about a macro, but I'm talking about micros.
Oh, and the micros, yes. Yeah, they're minerals or they're vitamins.
Yeah, well, in the vitamins, again, we can make a lot of them, with the exception of, say, something like vitamin C. You know? Fruit bats, guinea pigs, and humans get heart attacks, and they also don't make their vitamin C.
Okay, so number 18, don't eat a lot of refined carbohydrates. I would say don't eat any refined carbohydrates. But the more you can restrict your carbohydrates, the better off you're going to be. It's just the way it is. Number 19 is don't fear saturated fat. Again, we've gone over this many times, that now established research says saturated fat is good for us.
It does raise our cholesterol level, but guys, cholesterol is the repair molecule. The inflammation that we see in our arteries is related to micronutrient deficiencies such as vitamin C, to nanobacteria that are causing the inflammation. The fire's going on, and the cholesterol's the fireman. Do we blame the fireman for the fire? No, we don't. The fireman's there to save your life. Cholesterol is usually there to save your life. We don't want our cholesterol to get oxidized, so we keep lots of antioxidants.
Yeah, I like to use the analogy that it's kind of like a plaster that you plaster on the wall. And if you're in a house that's kind of unstable, there's earthquakes and things, there's all kinds of cracks. So we have to have the plasterers come in and plaster those things up. So if you're eating, there's a lot of things going on in your life, you got stress, you're eating bad food, then the arteries are going to take a hit. So now you need cholesterol in to come and patch it up. Better system would be to eat really healthy, take care of yourself. You don't have to have as much, and the cholesterol naturally will be at a level that your body says, this is how much I need.
And in a healthier ratio.
So the reason that you're getting your cholesterol up so high is your body's in trouble. It's trying to do you a favor. Now the doctor comes in and says, no, the drug companies tell us that it has to be at this level. Well, your body's telling you something different. It's making it for a reason.
Yes, and quite frankly, unless you've had a cardiac event, the higher your cholesterol is, particularly over a certain age, I think in the 60s, the longer you live, the lower the death from all causes of mortality. So we've got to start relooking at things. It's exciting as truths are kind of being revealed in our world, and we're there's some great things. Of course, we have to vet these things out, but we're starting to really see things for what they are.
Number
Lift
20.
heavy things.
Lift heavy things.
And this is kind of primal,
It's very primal. Mark Sisson came up with that phrase, lift heavy things, often.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just makes sense if you want to be strong.
And if you don't want to go to the gym, go, work in your yard. Lift, move some things around.
Move things
find
around,
things.
move the furniture, pick up rocks and do things with them. It's a great thing. Number 21 is avoid artificial trans fats. Now, these are the fats that damage, and you got to avoid them like a plague. And what is really going on is all these vegetable oils that everybody says we should be eating, polyunsaturated oils. Those are the bad ones.
And the next time you go into a grocery store and you're standing at the end of the aisle, that mausoleum of dead food, as Dr. Marshall says, the oils that are all take up a whole row in those clear bottles. Know that those are dead, oxidized vegetable oils that are already a threat to your arterial health. They're creating inflammation, and they're just not to be bought or consumed.
Number 22 is use plenty of herbs and spices, and this is my favorite part of plants.
Yes.
The herbs and spices.
Medicine.
It's medicine. You don't need a lot of them, and they do not only good things for your body, like mostly anti-inflammatory things, but the other thing is that they make the food taste great.
And one of the things I work with my empowerment coaching people is I have them do a check, because as you just said, herbs and spices are powerful medicine. Yeah. But if you open up someone's spice cabinet, you'll see herbs and stuff they've had for 10 years.
Yeah.
You'll see that they're conventionally raised. Well, did you know in this country that they irradiate almost all spices? There are a few companies that refuse to irradiate. One of them is Frontier.
Okay.
So if you go to a health food store, it even says on their bottle, never irradiated. So I would suggest a slow makeover of your spice cabinet. Buy the smallest bottle you can.
Definitely.
Because you'd rather buy them more frequently. It really doesn't matter. They're
Except for
powerful medicine.
Himalayan sea salt or Celtic salt or...
Right. But I'm talking about the herbal spices because of, and make sure they come from an organic source and from a source that says non-irradiated.
Yeah. Now, number 23, and I think this should be number 1.
Yeah.
Myself.
I don't think these are in order,
No,
but
probably
you're right.
not.
No, he's just listening.
This is social relationships are incredibly important. Of course, they're really meant for our well-being. We need to have a relationship with people, even with yourself. Mm-hmm. So take care of your relationships, your relationship with each other, but also your relationship with yourself is really important. How you talk to yourself, how you set yourself up to succeed, how you set yourself up to be happy, because all these things are choices. When people ask me, how you doing today? Well, I have a choice. I'm doing great. Yeah. And I really feel that way, that I have to set myself up. This morning when I woke up, I was a little tired. My wife actually got up with me at 5 o'clock. She had a special meeting she's going to. She's teaching today. And I asked her, I said, are you doing okay? She says, I'm choosing to be okay. And that's...
I love that.
Yeah, it's just fantastic.
That's true. And that's how
So we're standing at 5 o'clock in the morning, we're standing in the kitchen naked, and smiling at each other and saying we're setting ourselves up to succeed. So it was cool. I guess I didn't have to share that whole thing with you. But
thank you in advance.
Yeah.
Be thankful and grateful in advance for having a great day. Hey, I like this. Track your food intake every now and then, because I'm actually doing this.
I think this is a good thing to do. I've never done that myself.
I have it. MyFitnessPal is just super easy to use. So if you have a smartphone or an iPad, go download MyFitnessPal, easy breezy, and set some goals. You might say you're at your ideal weight, and but it's amazing. You can start inputting your food, your water, your movement. You can actually get your phone to say how many steps you've moved. Of course, for us women, we put our phone in our purse, and sometimes we walk around, so it's not going to be as accurate. But cool little toys.
Yep.
If you have excess belly fat, get rid of it. We're going to talk about that when we come back. I guess we got to take a break.
Yeah. And the number here is still 877-927-6648. Please pick up some Primal Edge, our newsletter, new one out today. I'm not talking about it, but there's plenty of stuff you need to see in there. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool?
taking something that's good for you, something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFNN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy. A set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at TFNN.com.
Welcome back to the show, folks. We are testing out 27 health and nutrition tips that are actually evidence-based.
If you have excess belly fat, get rid of it.
Yeah, that's number 27, excess belly fat. You see a lot of advertising about belly fat and how dangerous it is.
Well, you know, fat is actually an organ. That's what a lot of people don't understand. It's actually an endocrine organ.
Okay.
So, you know, look at a woman with a little extra fat. Look at a woman that's, what, estrogen dominant. Well, same thing with men.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that the belly fat, particularly the belly fat, because it's got that activity going on, expressing the wrong forms. It's a sign that we're storing toxic chemicals. It's also what we call typically the area where we put on visceral fat. The visceral fat is the fat that is just a sign that the organs are under stress and putting us at danger.
Okay, and that makes sense. And you know, for me, and I weighed myself this morning, and I was like a little bit lighter than I normally am. Of course, summer's coming, which means I'm sweating more, especially in jiu-jitsu.
And you follow seasonal eating?
I follow seasonal eating. But the interesting thing is that I feel so good when I'm thin, and I put on just 4 or 5 pounds. And that's kind of where it seems to go, right around the belly, around the waist. And it just doesn't feel as good. Because it's just feeling light just feels so darn good.
Well, let me just say something. I mean, you know me, and most of you guys that watch the show. I mean, I bounce around a little bit, but I've been refining my
you look fabulous.
My Primal Reset plan that I'm doing with my coaching clients out of my office. If any of you guys wanna get on board, you know, my significant other and I have both combined lost 50 pounds since October. I've lost roughly, 17 to 20. He's lost close to 30. And, he plays soccer on an over 50 league. He's scoring more goals because he's able to move. He says he feels like he's 30. He's not falling asleep as much. His testosterone's back in check. So I'm doing a whole kind of natural hormonal rejuvenation and helping people reset with a Primal Reset. So if any of you guys are interested, contact me, Paige at TFNN.com. And
you can always reach me too, Nico at TFNN.com too. So we got 2 more left. The number 26 is don't go on a diet, and I totally, heartily agree with that because, eating is just a lifestyle. So you need to incorporate a healtty mannerisms.
Lifestyle.
And we're trying to discover, what's the best thing to eat in our modern times. That's what we do on this show. And personally, I've discovered, I've kind of got the mindset now. I don't want to tell people what to eat. I'm going to tell you what I eat and how well I do on what I'm doing. So I eat a little bit of protein. I eat a lot of really good fat. I search out fat, and I eat extra fat because I feel like our modern food doesn't have enough of the good fats in it. And I eat a little bit of greens here and there, pretty much scattered. I don't eat it regularly. And
I eat more greens than you do, and that's okay. And see, that's what we realize is that we can have different things. But guys, that's true. Weight loss should follow as a natural side effect from making better food choices and improving your metabolic health. And that's what living a primal lifestyle does. We get back to the most important things. And I love this.
The last one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Eat eggs and don't throw away that yolk. That is the most nutritious.
The most important part of it is the yolk. The rest is really harder to digest, the protein part of it.
Yeah, the advidin, which is actually a inhibitor to digesting the egg whites. And yet, I have some friends that are bodybuilders and been doing that for years, and, travel with them, they order breakfast and it's an egg white omelet. Now, true, there's some great protein sources, but folks, let's take advantage of eating healthy eggs. Buy your eggs from your local farmer where the eggs are free-ranging and eating bugs and eating what they're supposed to. And look for that dark, rich color and enjoy your eggs.
And don't eat health food. Don't eat diet food. When they take out the fat, because that's always what they're doing in diet food, they are replacing it with refined sugar or carbohydrates.
And frankenfood chemicals.
And if they do add some fat in it, they add the trans fat in.
Yeah, they add trans fats and they add sugars and stuff that give a different flavor.
Don't do that.
Wow,
anyway,
that filled up the show, guys.
Yeah, I know. This is amazing. We have so much more to talk about, but we're out of time. So please see us next week. I'll throw a lot of stuff that we were going to talk about into the newsletter, but please pick up the newsletter. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you next week, and
be safe,
have a primal life.
Take care.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. results. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.